175,000
Okay.
trees and growing.
All right.
So,
Start.
yeah, that's been an amazing opportunity that essentially anyone can go online, see what they might already be doing, see what else they could do, and very easily do something which is both individual and communal. You're part of all of these other people who are helping to essentially replant an entire forest. And what's so great about these mangrove trees is they're incredibly good at absorbing carbon and a bunch of other stuff like protecting ecosystems with the way the root systems work. So it's just an all-around amazing opportunity, and I'm very lucky that we're in such a partnership where we can bring this to so many people.
And connecting people with nature again, I guess that's the other thing, isn't it? We talked about that. Yes, there is the carbon emission side of it and understanding, what roles trees play and mangroves play, but also that sort of tangible side of it too. Why has this worked? How come you've got such good results? Why is it that fans out there have really responded so positively to this, do you think, Aidan?
I think just the accessibility of it. With everything I do, it probably comes from the sort of ADD, OCD parts of me, but simplicity, and generationally, the attention span gets a lot shorter. Simplicity and how it relates to somebody personally is the way in which I've seen the most sort of engagement. If someone is going about their day and they happen onto a particular movement and they're absorbing information like that flow, I'm talking about social media, their instinct is to keep going. So simplicity and how it relates to them personally, how it's going to affect them, or how they could personally take action. Anytime which it's been reduced down to its key elements, that it's a very tricky thing, because it's like you have a variety of environmental crises, and they're all extremely complex, and it seems like this massive thing, and it's mixed up with climate anxiety. It's just, it's like a lot of
Do you suffer
things.
from that? Do you suffer from climate anxiety?
All the time.
Do you?
But it helps coming to things like
what
this.
What form does that take? Do you sort of go deep? Do you think about it a lot? Because I think that, I would say that I do. I've got 2 young children. I think that it's age agnostic, climate anxiety. It doesn't matter how old you are. Anyone can feel this. But in a way, that's a huge driver, isn't it? Because it's that fear. Can you turn it into something positive and have that accessibility, like you say?
Yeah, it's hard in that state of anxiety to flip it and use it to really drive you, because for me personally, I equate it to I see it in my head as this massive, this is what I'm having, climate anxiety. I see it as this massive tidal wave. It's this ginormous problem, and I'm this small thing. What can I do to overcome that? And, that's a very hard position to overcome and to try and even want to engage with. The inclination is to distract yourself and go somewhere else. So I have been able to get past that personally by seeing people who are much smarter than me and on the front lines of fighting the variety of crises in different ways, both with these movements in which they're involving lots of people, and then also innovation to find creative solutions around this, which makes the whole process of fighting this a lot more efficient. So, yeah, any time in which if I look to the right places, I find that I could be filled with optimism just as much as you could sort of scare yourself away. So, yeah, there's a lot of people out there who we've definitely seen at this panel who are looking at all of this complexity in the right way and know how to handle it. And it very much is a collaboration, and we're seeing that happen.
So
that's what's inspiring.
I was going to say that, but I think also, you were saying how it feels like this ginormous problem, but you have found your expression to try and do your bit, and everyone does their bit in different ways, and hopefully it is coherent, hopefully it is collegiate. But speaking to the audience that you do in the way that you do, and cutting through with that clarity, cutting through with that accessibility, so that it feels that you've got a direct call to action, and they can do something, they feel they are making a contribution. That is, I sense, very much the way to go about this. I wonder though, not everyone does what you do, Aidan. Do you think that, what responsibility do public figures have to use their platform to drive positive change? And as I say, not everyone does it. So what are the challenges around that?
I've always found it very easy. I mean, social media is an incredibly powerful tool. Nowadays, you could, you're going about your day, you happen to pull out your phone, maybe you're at lunch and you're waiting on a friend or whatever. You're just on there, and then if you follow the right accounts, then information pops up, and with the click of a button, all of a sudden, everyone who happens to look at your feed can see the same thing that you're seeing. So it's incredibly easy to do. You can just repost. So that's a very simple way to take action. There are a lot of other ways that you can. I grew up with it, so I didn't really think about it. It's more so just the natural pivot of, wow, I didn't know this. This is going to impact me and the people that I know and people around the world who I've never met. And in a way, we're all in that together. And yet, 5 seconds ago, I had no idea that this was even happening. And so I just would see it and try and pass it on. And you can do that on a social media level, but you can also do that just within your own social circles.
Right, exactly. So
it's always seemed like a natural thing to do, but I do think if you I very much am in this in terms of luck, that I've been someone who encountered what's going on, and then, oh my gosh, I have people who happen to see the things that I put out. So I do feel responsible in a way to help share whatever I come across that I feel is important. Greta puts it really well in this metaphor of a burning house. And I look at it that way a lot, of if the house is on fire and there are people who are unaware of it, they're sleeping, you'd want to wake them up, and communally, there's no other house to go to, so we got to put out the fire.
You've got to wake them up, got to put out the fire. Yeah, I mean, I think I often look at people like yourself, Aidan, and in my world as a sports presenter, athletes who have huge profiles, who a lot of people look up to and look to for a steer for how to lead their lives. And I think it is sometimes tricky because those athletes, those people with profile, worry about hypocrisy, worry about getting that backlash from the audience when they say they like climate action, and